Yeah, man, it's the 5th of August because it's after midnight, 2023. And I want to talk about symptoms and something that you might just take into consideration. So, a lot of times when they're attacking me with broadcast, gang stalkers using broadcast, it's satellite broadcast, they're on mind control, they're controlling broadcast. They have the system settings to be able to just go on your neural monitoring and unconsensually put broadcast on you, in you, all over you. And let me talk about this too, about blocking broadcast, because people talk about blocking this stuff all the time. And like, if I throw something at you, okay, you can block it. If something is coming at you, you can block something that is coming at you. But what we're talking about with broadcast technology, with this global system, this satellite broadcast system, and EMF broadcast system, this global infrastructure of broadcast, it's very different than something coming at you. Okay, so say you could put in an exact coordinate and say, okay, I want to broadcast something here, and it's there. It's like a teleport type of broadcast. So they don't have to they don't have to just say, okay, I want to beam this broadcast over there, and then it flies over there like some sort of airplane or something like that. It's, I want this broadcast to be at this location, and boom, it's there. Okay, so say for example, and that location doesn't have to be stationary. That location can be 1 inch deep inside your forehead. And as you move, that location moves, because 1 inch deep inside your forehead stays the same place, even when that location moves around. Okay, so that location can move, and it can always be 1 inch inside your forehead. Okay, so because you're a moving object. So if you have a frequency, they can program it that way. Okay, they can control the broadcast in that way. So when they put a broadcast on you or in you, say 1 inch inside your forehead, that's not gonna you're not gonna be able to block that by wearing a tinfoil hat, because that broadcast is not coming from a certain location. That broadcast is created at a certain point by a global system of EMF broadcast technology, this full satellite system with this EMF planetary infrastructure. So the broadcast can just be somewhere. And so it's hard to block something that can just be somewhere, because it can just be right behind where you're trying to block it, like it's coming from somewhere. It's not coming from somewhere. It's like a triangulation of many locations can just put it there. Okay, so the broadcast can just be somewhere rather than have to go travel from one place to another place. So this is a pretty advanced broadcast system. All right. Now, these guys that are on my neural monitoring, they're very nasty and violent, and um, they wish to cause damage with broadcast. So they put broadcast penetrated into places. Okay, so when I say they're attacking me with broadcast, they put broadcast inside areas. So, like for example, today I've been dealing with this all day, and it's something that they do. And you could take something like a really bright flashlight and use it like this, and try to disrupt their broadcast, and you can find relief in that way if the problem that you're dealing with is broadcast. But when they put a broadcast like, 1 inch penetrated inside your skull, and it feels like all this pressure, you can't even blink your eyes without your eyes and ears popping because of this broadcast. And it'll be like all up and down your brain stem and saturated into your jaws. And they're talking trash, and it's them. In my case, all right, I know it's them that are doing this type of thing. And if they stop, it's boom, it's gone away instantaneously, and you feel instantaneously better. The problem is most people don't know that they're under attack by somebody that's having some kind of problem with them. There's something on my screen. I was thinking there's something behind me. Uh, Something was on my screen. But yeah, they It's just really difficult because they want to hurt you. And many people won't understand that they're under attack by broadcast, by people that are somewhere else. So I'm sitting here and they can be completely somewhere else. They can be a mile away. They can be in the next room. They could be 100 miles away or 1,000 or many thousands of miles away. And as long as they can, on the internet, access this neural monitoring stuff, their own profiles, our profiles, make these connections unconsensually, and then they can have control over the perimeters of broadcast things on our neural monitoring. So they could say, okay, well, yeah, as you, they're saying, yes, I would like to allow this other particular person themselves to be able to connect with me on all broadcast levels and to penetrate my personal area, my physical body with broadcast as ever, however they see fit. And since we're saying that, okay, because they're acting on our behalf, on our own neural monitoring, programming these settings in to give themselves access on that level. Okay, if you had your own neural monitoring, you would be able to just turn them off, like disconnect, unfriend, block, whatever, however you want to look at it. It's like it would be somewhat like a social media or like a profile, an online profile. If you don't want somebody looking at your online profile or being your friend or any of those things, there's settings and perimeters you can use to block them off. Okay, it's way more advanced than a social media profile because there's a lot of settings for broadcast and mind control and artificial broadcast telepathy and all this type of stuff. Who do you want to receive? Are they willing to accept that connection? And in our case, we're not. It's unconsensual. But since they have access to our neural monitoring and we don't, then they can act on our behalf and give themselves those privileges to be able to physically attack us with broadcasts. That's why they never want us to get our neural monitoring, because they have theirs. They have access to be able to get on ours to give themselves these permissions and these connections, okay, where they can control these perimeters of broadcast and be able to put a broadcast on our face and sink into our skull and have a broadcast on your brain stem and in your jaw and in your eyes and all of this stuff and make it seem like you have horrible cancer and headaches and the worst health in the world, and you don't really have health problems. You have broadcast terrorism torture problems. And so many people have that, and they don't understand that that's what's happening because they've got people accessing their neural monitoring that aren't so dumb and feel the need to brag and to get these positions of power over somebody. They have it, they don't want to brag about it. So they attack people that are unknowingly just under attack with broadcasts. And I would speculate that millions or many, many millions, maybe who knows how many, but I would say definitely millions, because I know that millions of people have neural monitoring. So I would say that there's a good chance that many of them are doing something to somebody knowingly or unknowingly. And in our case, targeted people that know what's going on or that at least know that neural monitoring exists, and maybe you're trying to figure out how does this work or who's doing it to you. There's a lot of us, but there's far more people that have the same problems we have, okay, that just don't know it, because every person's on neural monitoring. And you either have it or you don't. And if you don't, then somebody else probably has it, okay? And so there's probably people or entities or agencies or something that have millions of neural monitorings. And like gang stalkers, okay, somebody that has a position in life where they have the financial means or the connections with people in higher positions or something like that, they can probably get a lot of people's neural monitoring. Okay, and typically it's like a hierarchy like that. If there's somebody that has that position, and then they give neural monitoring to some people that they feel that would be part of or on board with what they like to do with neural monitoring. So If you have somebody that likes to gang stalk and torture people and thinks it's fun and high fives about destroying people and hurting people or even killing people with neural monitoring, then they would investigate who might be an ally to them in that sort of lifestyle. And it's easy to investigate because you just check their neural monitoring or connect with them and you see how they think and how their personality is and if they care about people and if they like to hurt people or if they're a victim of this or that and if they're would be willing to take part in this sort of lifestyle. And you give them neural monitoring and say, hey, I want to show you something. You're going to love this. You're not going to believe it. But, I'm going to give you this neural monitoring. And that's what the person who has my neural monitoring has given a bunch of people neural monitoring and also has many people's neural monitorings. Okay. Collects them like a slave trader. All right. And a human trafficker and deals with different subgroups of people that have neural monitoring. Some of them that got it from that person, and some that didn't, and they all collaborate in certain ways, And I feel like me being public is one reason why they'll never just give it to me because of what all they've done to me and how public I've been about it. But it's not isolated to just us. Okay, we're just the ones that know about it. We're just the ones that they've given enough secrets away so that now we know what's going on. But there's, I promise, millions of people out there that have physical health problems that are 100% related to neural monitoring and somebody on the other end deciding that they have deemed some reason necessary to hurt that person or to try to diminish that person's health. And it is very debilitating. I can wake up and with injuries, I can't I'm not allowed to be comfortable. I'm not allowed to be successful. I'm going to try to be everything I can anyway, but it's very typical for them to punish me for circumstances. So, if I make a good deal or if I, get a lot of overtime at work, or if I get a good grade on a final exam, or if I just have a good day with other people, or if I have anything going good that they feel jealous of or feel like their target shouldn't have these circumstances happening, then I will get punished for that. Even some of the private thoughts in my mind, they punish me for. And if there's nothing they can come up with, then they'll punish me for no reason because they love to torture people with broadcasts. But I think it should be very well documented and spread around that if you have physical health problems, especially sporadic, unexplainable injuries or ailments, even down to like headaches or toothaches or the deterioration of teeth and bones or eyesight, even stuff where they like get into your brain stem with broadcasts, and they could probably cause heart attacks and strokes and things like that. And they really are like murderers. These people that use broadcasts, and they'll work on it over time. If they feel like you're a threat, or just if they're jealous of you, or if like you got with a girl they used to like, or if you maybe you did something to them, or maybe they're just jealous of you. Maybe they're afraid you don't stand for their lifestyle, the ways that they live. Any reason that they could come up with, or sometimes just because they want to hurt people. But they will literally work on disabling, debilitating, and even killing you over time with broadcasts. And they can't just do it instantly. All right. If they cook your brain instantly, and you got smoke coming out of your ears and you just died, and they do an autopsy and find out somebody used broadcast directed energy type weapons against you, then that's not going to look very good. So doing it over the course of years, it's almost like it gives them the enjoyment that they want, that they need, the attention that they need, the satisfaction that they desire, because they're sick. They're sick, evil, and twisted. And they are waging war against people. And many times those people are innocent. And so it's kind of protocol for them to do it over the course of 5 or 10 or more years. And they seem to like doing it that way. But I think it's um, important that people start to understand that this is happening, and that if you have those kind of issues, um, you really have to stay on top of it, And I may even just start doing, who knows? I might become a health nut and fitness nut, and start documenting my life every day in those ways, because I'm I'm not afraid of things, but I'm afraid of not being able to do anything about it while they literally steal my life away and kill me over time. And I don't want to die 20 or 30 years earlier. Okay, if they're going to cost me that much time, then then I think capital punishment would be very much appropriate. If they're going to use broadcast to hurt people and kill people, and to literally have that mentality, well, if I can't be caught, might as well just try to kill them or hurt them every day of their life. And that's what they really do. And for that, capital punishment. They should be put to death. But it's very important for people to understand that broadcast torture is something that's going on. And if you have physical problems, it's something that should be considered. Okay. Um, anyway, they're hurting me pretty bad. That's why I'm back on again today, talking about broadcast torture again. I did a video earlier on the remote neural monitoring channel. This is a targeted individual channel. I was talking about light therapy, because I have to do this all the time, because a lot of the time it's the only thing that'll work. If I'm laying here and, at nighttime, and they're just putting broadcasts all on my face or in my eyes, and it gets that bad where, I can't even blink my eyes. It's got like moisture bubbles popping, and there's so much pressure, and it hurts so bad. And I'll just sit here and do like this for 2 minutes, and it's some temporary relief at the very least. And because broadcast, it disrupts, the super bright light disrupts their broadcast. And laser beams too, like if you use lasers, it disrupts their broadcast, and it can give you temporary relief. But maybe more importantly, it can give you clarification that that's what's happening, that you don't actually have a physical problem, that you need to continue to try to spend so much money and so much time, and go through agonizing misery trying to figure out what's wrong with you. If you can do like this and it goes away, there's a very good possibility that there's broadcast associated with your physical problems. And if there is, then there's gang stalkers using neural monitoring, EMF broadcast, to hurt you. You should be aware of that. Anyway, thanks for watching.